Hold on. So, S.G. Nelson, who is, what is their Instagram? Oh, the Thesaurus Addict. At Thesaurus Addict is her handle. Her name is Sari, rhymes with scary. S.G. Nelson. And S.G. Nelson, hold on a second. S.G. Nelson, y'all, if you didn't already see the Instagram post, S.G. Nelson made me this! What? Come on. It's a little Chuck. It's a little Chuck. You're a little Chuck. Yes, you are. He's a little Chuck. I mean, this, and see, the hair's we're getting back to the same curly cues, y'all. It's what's up. Live video back. And we're back. And we're back. So anyway, Thesaurus Addict. Thank you, S.G. Nelson. Super cool. I got to get like the little sticks that, make their hands move. And then I'll get really good at, just talking without my lips moving. I'll just sit over here. I'll be looking at this guy and I'm talking to this, hey, Zach, I'm going to get real good at not moving my lips when I talk so I can do ventriloquism. That's not bad, right? That's not bad. Also, he comes with a little Shazam outfit! Shut up! Shut up! By the way, I think this was like one that was made for kids. And she was smart enough to be like, oh, I can get a kid size and I can put it on the puppets! I mean, and Little Chuck. Yeah, Little Chuck. No, he's not a puppet. Don't call him a puppet. He gets real angry about that. Anyway, that's all that. Good night, buddy. Good night, dummy. Gonna put him back in the box. No, not in the box. What's in the box? What else? Guys, there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. There's too much to talk about right now in this moment. There's also a lot of time right now for us to be reflecting and listening and learning, and as we always should be, by the way. Let this not be the beginning and end of when we all stop and listen and humble ourselves and learn, because we don't know everything. As much as we all like to think that we got it figured out, we got it nailed. We don't. And here's the beautiful thing about it. Nobody does. Regardless of your skin color or faith or sexual preference or whatever, nobody has all of the answers. We are all a bunch of dum-dums, all just walking around and bumping into each other in this world. And we stumble and we fall and we say the wrong thing and we do the wrong thing. And in times like this, people are doing what they think is the right thing oftentimes, but they're then 5 minutes later learning that it's not the right thing to do. So I think it's important that we keep in mind in this moment where we all have the opportunity to speak truth, which is the only thing any of us should be speaking. We should only be speaking what we know to be absolute, infallible truth that we have researched and sifted through in our own hearts and minds. And we should go and speak that truth. Absolutely, we should speak that truth. But if we want anyone at all to hear that truth, if we want anyone at all to actually stop and listen and absorb that truth, and I'm speaking to everybody here, whatever side of this political spectrum that you lay on, whatever side of any of these issues that you lay on, remember this. If you genuinely want a better world, if you genuinely want a better world for you and your friends and your family, the only way to get there is to convert minds and hearts through speaking truth in love and not in shame. Because from my point of view, and this isn't just being somebody who's, let's say, in a more public space, my life is more public. People are able to attack or not attack me at larger or greater rates, let's say, than other people who are not out on the the public stage, if you will, or whatever. But I can tell you from my own experience. I can also just tell you by watching any other person's experience, any other single person in this world right now. If they do even slightly the wrong thing, by the way, slightly the wrong thing at the moment, the rules of how to even engage this common enemy of ours, which is racism, that we all want to tackle. Well, all of us except for a very, very, very few amount of people in this world that know that they're racist and want to be racist. But that is I believe fully in my heart that is a very, 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 very small portion of this actual population that we are of Homo sapien. I think the vast majority of people all want to live in unity, all want to live together, all want to be working together. And guys, we can get there, but only if we do it in love. If we are literally picking each other apart, every last little thing that we say or do, people that are trying to help, people that are genuinely trying to help but don't know better, and they go and do something that second just happens to be, oh, you stepped left when you should have stepped right, you fucking idiot. That's what we're telling them. That's what when you're commenting on people and just eviscerating them, if somebody says something that they might not know better, and guess what, guys? That's all that's going on right now. Legitimately, even racists who know they're racist and want to be racist, do you know why they are? Because they don't know better. It's all ignorance. It's all on all parts of everyone. We are all trying to get to a common goal. We cannot kill each other on the way there, because then what do we have left? What on earth do we have left other than a bunch of bodies of all color just strewn in our wake of shame? Of shame. Because that's what it is. That's what it is. This is mental health, guys. This is trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma that is being shown to us right now. Lots of traumatized people for many, many, many years on all sides. There's so much pain, and that's what's coming out right now. That's what's coming out right now. And we have got to allow for people to show how they are feeling, but we also have to hold ourselves accountable for how we are doing that, how we are showing our trauma. Listen, I want to burn it all down, but not the physical it. I don't think we need to burn down the whole world, the physical world, and each other in the process. Let's work together and burn down the systems that are wrong, that have failed us, that are broken. And let's not, by the way, kill all the people there doing it right now, because they don't know any better, because they're broken within the broken system. We have to gracefully, lovingly usher those who are unaware out of the positions of power that they're in, and gracefully and humbly usher in other leaders and servants that will care for all people. All the time. This cannot be anymore. This cannot be red and blue or black and white. This cannot be anymore. We all know it. We know it deep within ourselves. We know it. There's a beautiful world. I believe it with everything in me. There's a beautiful world, a better world on the other side of this. But we have got to protect each other on the way there. We can't hate each other. We cannot hate our world. We cannot hate our way to a better world. We can only love our way there. Otherwise, it's not a better world on the other side, guys. It's a world still filled with hate. Power may shift. Fissures may be created anew. But rest assured, it will not be a better world. It will not be the world that you want your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren to be living in. If you find yourself, if you consider yourself to be woke or enlightened, remember that in itself is that is an advantage. Anyone who should have actual enlightenment is in a better place, a stronger place, a more privileged place to help those below them. If you know something that I don't know, I want to know it. I want to know it and help along the way. But don't shame me because I don't know it. Don't go around and just slinging arrows at anyone and everyone who might not be where you are yet. If you are enlightened, carry that in humility. Know that, wow, what a blessing it is to know something that other people don't know. If we don't check the way in which we are expressing our anger, then this won't be a time of great, amazing change. This will be, well, it will be a time of change and great change in the sense of profundity. But I don't know that we're heading into the world that we all want if we don't check this. I think that we're heading more to something like the French Revolution, which, yes, did course correct France in some ways. And I'm not a massive Francophile, and I don't know all of my French history, so forgive me if I butcher this a bit, but I do know a little something about the French Revolution and the use of the guillotine. And I know that the people who started the French Revolution, who were chopping everybody's heads off along the way, ended up getting their own heads chopped off at the end. This is not the time to be rolling out the guillotine, guys. This is not the time to be judge, jury, and executioner on social media. People are trying. They are trying. They really are. And a lot of people are scared to try. They are stuck between silence is violence and also if you say anything, we might kill you. That's what is happening to people's minds and hearts right now. It's abuse. That's textbook abuse. That's one of the reasons, by the way, I tell you guys, I'm going to put Active Minds as a recipient of the donations of, essentially as many of these lives as I can do. But I specifically wanted Active Minds to be the recipient of this live because this is mental health, y'all. You out there, if you consider yourself a champion of this cause, an ally to this cause, and you are spending your time going and eviscerating people online because they didn't do something exactly the way that you think it ought to be done, but they're still trying, you're not helping the cause. You are being an abuser. You're abusing those people that want to help, and they just don't know any better. Have grace with them. Have love for them. Pick up your brother and sister that is clearly below you in your understanding and help them to rise and fight with you. Do not abuse. Do not become the abuser. Do not allow those who abused you or who have abused you physically, mentally, or emotionally, create an abuser of you. Don't let people bully you or shame you or abuse you into believing anything. I'll say that again. No good truth. No life affirming, life protecting, life saving, good, wholesome truth comes at the hands of shame. Comes at the hands of being bullied into that truth. That's not truth, guys. It's not. That's acquiescing. That's fear. But that's not actually truth. We can guide people there. We can guide people to the truth in love. Let us be the light in the world. Let us be conduits of that life, of that light and life and love. Let us be conduits of that light so that we might be able to help shine a path for those who are lost, for those who can't see. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. That's what I feel. Clearly. That's how I feel. And I, as I've stated on social media many times, I have no desire to sway you into voting however you believe your conscience is leading you to vote. I am going to engage with you on social media. If you choose to come and talk to me on a public platform, in a public forum, I will meet you there. I will engage you there. And I will do it in speaking truth in love. And I will not allow myself to be bullied, and I will not sit by and watch people of all color and all faith and all background and all political affiliation also all be bullied at the same time, knowing that they are trying to help. Please be patient. Afford people the love and the kindness and the patience that you would want afforded to you as you were learning anything. I love you guys. And I don't know all that I can say or what I should say. I like a lot of people still kind of feel stuck between that rock and a hard place, and it's weird. It's fucking weird. And this is, by the way, please, anyone out there that, not that I can even change anybody who would want to take this and start cutting it up into other videos or misquote me or memes or whatever. Do whatever you're gonna do. But just know that my heart is for all of us, and always has been and always will be. And I fully believe that there is a better future ahead of us, but we have got to love our way there. We have to love ourselves. And by loving ourselves, that means also having boundaries with people that are being abusive in our lives. Don't let yourself be bullied to go be a bully. Don't do that. Love yourself enough to say, hey, that's not how I will be programmed in my life. You will not yell at me. You will not degrade me. You will not shame me or bully me into believing something that you want me to believe. First and foremost, let's all do that. Let's all do that. And then let's start working together about disseminating what is real and what is not. How can we move forward together? How can we lift up each other? Because right now, that's not happening, y'all. It's not. Look out there. Social media alone is it's a war zone. And anybody that's in the center of this, meaning anybody who hasn't and decidedly hasn't wanted to choose some red or blue faction in all of this, anyone who's trying to just exercise as much patience and empathy and common sense and logic and reason to the situation and find solutions, if you're in the middle of these two warring towers, imagine two towers, one's red and one's blue, and they are firing cannon fire and arrows and all of the things.
the attacks are happening and everyone in the middle that's trying to find some common ground and some sanity in all this and really dig into the issue itself and not be dividing more people along the way, all of us are just either getting shot from the front or shot from behind. From people that we're even closest to on whatever that faction might be. It's like, oh shoot, I'm trying to help. And then there's no safe ground. Anyway, listen, there's so many things to say. And like I said, I don't even know how much I can even say right now, or should even say, or whatever. I don't know. I've got a lot of thoughts. Anybody who knows me knows that I do, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to leave y'all with this, and I mean this genuinely. We're in June. July, August, September, October, November. 5 months until we're electing, should we choose to participate in that process. And it is also your right to not vote. And I will not shame anybody into even voting. I encourage people to vote, but I will not shame you into doing that. It is your right to abscond, to say no, to protest the whole thing. Because if you're anything like me, even though I have voted in past elections, I still think the whole system is rigged and needs a massive overhaul. That's what I think. And I think that in this next 5 months, we're going to lead into yet another election where neither of these two seemingly only choices that we ever get have put up a better solution to where we are right now. And listen, and here's the thing. For all of my friends or fans, or if you even exist anymore, that might be on the right side of things, in the more right or red side of things, I say this: I love you. I am very grateful for a lot of Republican policies that have been brought into the world, things that I think have been beneficial to all mankind, things that have made the United States an incredible country. And there's a lot of shit that's happened in Republican politics that has not been good. And that's okay for us to acknowledge that. Same thing for all of my friends in the blue category. There have been incredible democratic initiatives that have made the world a better place, that have made the United States a better place, a better country. And there's been a lot of democratic policy that has not. This should not be about a red or a blue thing. I'm not attacking either side for being red or blue. You're allowed to have whatever and the identity within your politics if you so choose to do that. I would suggest that you don't allow either of those colors to determine your identity as a person. I would rather we not go around referring to ourselves as Republicans or Democrats. I would rather we go around referring to ourselves as Americans, united, collectively, marching toward the same goals. And I don't believe that either of these parties has that in mind. I don't think they want all of us to be united. I think they want to maintain the status quo. A third party option is very dangerous to the status quo, which is why they say ad nauseum over and over and over and over again, a vote for a third party is a wasted vote. And we've all believed it. We believed it and 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 believed it. And given the way that our country continues to vote, our voting process, first past the post, I just learned a good bit about all these different voting processes around the world. And we need to change ours immediately. But up to this point, and including this election, it'll be first past the post, which is not the best way to be doing this, or at least keeping a diverse grouping of potential candidates that might be able to run this nation. We have whittled ourselves down because of our system to a two-party system. So I'm not even just going to blame the two parties for having somehow rigged it to be that, although they're very well aware of it and they don't want it to change. But here's the reality, guys. If all of us this November voted for a third party, That's nobody wasting a vote. That's everyone very actively and very usefully casting their ballot. And both of those parties would no longer be in charge of making all this stuff become worse. Because they do. And it's not because either one of them is nothing but bad people. It's because both of those parties are constructed of people in general who are broken, and they've all come up within a system that is very, 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 very broken, and they don't really want to fix it because that's not good for business. We have to go and change it all with love. We have to recognize that they don't know better and very graciously usher them out of that system. And we have to very humbly usher in a new system and new people. And I think voting for a third party this November, and let me tell you something, I don't think we should be too picky. I think we need to find somebody. I'm not saying they just need a pulse. I'm saying they just need to be, they don't need to have been a senator. I don't care. I mean, they just need to have integrity, for God's sake. They need to have empathy. They need to be bountiful in the fruit of the Spirit. For any of my Christian friends that are out there listening to this right now, or that might go and listen to this later, I beg of you. I understand that the Republican candidate and the incumbent in here is somebody that apparently stands for the things that you stand for and is certainly trying to fight for them and make sure that the policies reflect your needs. I understand that. I'm telling you right now that I believe with everything in me that if we genuinely believe in what the gospel means, what it actually means, and we're actually trusting God with whomever ends up in that seat, by the way. You know, it's very interesting that I think, you know, Christians, particularly in this country, are very quick to say that, well, or rather Christians that voted for Donald Trump are very quick to say, well, listen, you know, I don't like Donald Trump, but God can use anyone. And I go, okay, well then God could use Biden. God forbid. I don't want Biden in that seat either. I don't. That's my personal opinion. I don't want either of, and not because I think Biden is evil or even that Trump is evil. I think they do bad shit. I think they are broken people who are doing bad shit. And we need to graciously see them as humans, not dehumanize them, not vilify them, not make them monsters in our mind. Have pity for them and those who support what they are doing. And we need to usher them out of places that they need not be in their seats of power. They need not be leading this country anymore. We don't need it anymore. We don't need a lot of the old nonsense constructs that they are all feeding off of anymore. We are more informed than ever before. We can do this as people. We can. So this November, again, I don't know if it's the Libertarian candidate. I don't know if it's somebody else entirely. I don't know. But this is what I know. Regardless of the candidate, literally regardless of the candidate, we can vote for Biden. Seemingly, none of this is really fully hashed out yet, but seemingly what it's looking like is we can vote for Biden, or we can vote for Trump, or we can vote for us. We can really vote for us, the people. We all know, all of us on both sides, secretly, deep down, we all know that the parties, this two-party system that we have, doesn't work. It has failed us. It has failed all of us. Partisan politics is no good for any of us outside of those politics. It's not. The system is broken. Let's go vote for us. Let's figure out whoever that person needs to be with a big heart and intelligent and empathetic and has leadership experience. Fuck, I don't know. Let's find them. Let's find them. And even if, I don't care. Like, let's say the third party doesn't actually win this year. If we make a big enough dent, maybe people the next time around will go, shit, maybe we could actually do it. Because all the third parties that have come before now have come at times where, yes, sure, we've all looked at the two candidates and been like, oh, I don't know. I know they both have their faults. Guys, I don't know. That's all. That's all. I'm going to end all of my talking there. Oh, by the way, for everybody who's donated to Active Minds, thank you so much. It means the world to me. I put this up there because why the heck not? Why shouldn't we be trying to raise money for good causes? And and I didn't even bring it up basically once, and you guys completely were rock stars. 60 donations, over $1,000. And just for anybody out there who doesn't know what Active Minds is an incredible organization that provides mental health resources and education on many, both high school and college campuses all over the United States. Allison Malman, their founder, is a delightful and excellent woman of integrity who created this out of her own personal experience dealing with how mental health had adversely affected her brother and their family, and they are true. They are good people, and they are doing good work. They are doing good work in the world. So every dollar that you guys donate to Active Minds, please know that you can donate that confidently. It is going to really legitimately changing the world. I think that if we can go and help every young mind, wherever we can find them, and starting at high school campuses and college campuses, I think is a great start. We need to get mental health awareness and education everywhere, resources everywhere. Again, I mean, I've said it before, but I think it's very obvious when you look at a lot of our politicians, or really anyone for that matter. It's if you I've gone through a massive mental health adventure and journey, and I've learned so much about it. And from what I've learned about it, I'm able to then go and see in other people the effects. I can register them. I can recognize them far greater and far more specifically now, because I can see what seems to be poor mental health and emotional health in people, having gone through that myself. And let me tell you, a lot of our, yes, mental health in prisons, absolutely. Also, let's just fucking fix our prison system and not make it just an animal factory, which it is. Jeez Louise. Anyway, I can't remember what we were just talking about. Oh, mental health. Yeah, guys, it's all mental health. It's all of it. If we can legitimately go heal every heart and every mind in the world, there will be no other problems for us to have to deal with, really. I mean, we'll have problems in that, people will still decide to go take selfies too close to cliffs and fall off, or they might, go swimming in shark-infested waters and get bit. I can't give a cliff or shark mental or emotional therapy to prevent those types of things. But I think all of the things that, like what we're talking about right now, how we're treating one another and ourselves right now, all of that is mental and emotional health and well-being, all of it, every single bit of it. It is, like I said earlier, it is years and years and years and years and years and years and years. I mean, really, millennia, if you think about it, since the beginning of man. Trauma is generational. Trauma is carried on. So your ancestors way back experienced trauma, and then they put their trauma on their kin. If something happened to them traumatic, that's how then they go and act, and they program their children, and then those children carry on that traumatic trait until someone in their lineage stops it. Right now, we have the opportunity to stop so much of the bad generational trauma that's been handed down to all of us by ancestors that we will never know, that we will never maybe know anything ever about, ever. Because Ancestry.com only goes back so far, guys. And even then you're getting, some results here and not results in other places. That stuff You wonder why you act the way that you do? Well, you act the way that you do primarily because of how your parents treated you when you were growing up. And guess how they parented you? Guess how they treated you? Basically, they got programmed by their parents on how to parent you. And their parents got parented by their parents on how to parent their kids who parented you. And so on 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 and so on. And right now, we have nearly 8 billion people on the planet that are all 8 billion lines of lineage. Well, however many exact people, 7.5 billion, but you understand what I'm saying? 7 and change billion people, all living 7 and change billion lifelines, all rooted back to generational trauma. All of them. We can either accept that, we can either see that, oh man, these people that we don't like, or that we're afraid of, or think things that are very different than what we think, or actually might even wish us ill will. We create boundaries. We create healthy boundaries with people like that, but do not allow their acting out of their trauma to make you dehumanize them. They might be looking like monsters and acting like monsters. They might be lashing out and tongue and claws and all of that stuff. You're looking at an abused person. That is trauma manifesting. That's what that is. And if you don't believe me, in fact, I'm going to leave you with two things, and both involve dogs. Because who doesn't love a dog story? Or maybe even 3 for that matter. But here's some lessons in trauma. And I know some people are going to say, well, we're humans, we're not dogs. And I was like, okay, simmer down. I understand that we're humans and not dogs, but what I'm about to say is this. If you're wondering how humans, which by the way are animals still, let's not ever forget that we are a part of the animal kingdom. We're a crazy, weird, enlightened, different type of animal, but we are still an animal. And if you were to take almost any other animal, but let's just use dogs in general, and you abuse and traumatize that dog, you beat that dog, you yell at that dog, you make that dog feel fear all the time. How does that dog behave? Is it like, oh man, things were kind of screwed up in my past, but I'm okay now. I feel like I've dealt with it. I don't know. No, they're going, ah! Ah! That's what they're doing. Now, the crazy thing is, this is what almost breaks my heart more than anything else. And this is, I think this is true. And I would encourage all of you to reflect on this. Reflect on what I'm about to say, but also how then that applies to how you see certain things a certain way. I think we all need to love each other more. I've spent the last hour trying to lay that out in many different ways. I think that we are lacking love more than anything else. We don't love ourselves enough, and we don't love each other enough. We don't love life really enough. We take life for granted. All manner of life. Plant, animal, human, all of it. We take it all for granted. But we don't value certain life in ways, as we are seeing, right? But I think there's an even almost deeper problem in that we don't value human life. Of all race and shape and size and sex and anything. And I'll give you a perfect example to help illustrate this. If you're wondering whether or not you genuinely value human life. And by the way, this is not an indictment saying that you don't. This is just a barometer. This is a way to gauge just how much you may love and value and wish to recognize the human lives around you. Here we go. Ready? How often do you do this or see people do this, where a person, a human being, is walking down the sidewalk you're sitting at a table, or you see somebody sitting at a table, and this at like a cafe or something like that, and this person's walking down the sidewalk, and they've got a dog. Could be almost any dog. I mean, honestly, it could be almost any dog. It could be a little teeny dog. It could be a medium-sized dog. It could be a massive dog. It could be a dog that even kind of looks kind of scary, as long as it's not acting too scary. Some people have certain phobias with certain dogs, but regardless, it could be almost any dog. A human being, leash, dog, okay? You or somebody else is sitting at a table. They start walking by you. You go, oh my God, what a cute dog. And without even looking at the human owner of fosterer and steward of this dog, this human person, instead of ever even looking them in the face and saying, hey, hi, nice to meet you, what's your name? You immediately look at the dog and you talk to the person without looking at them, saying, oh my gosh, what breed is he? Oh, he's so cute. Oh my God. And you're literally giving all the dog all the attention, loving nothing but the dog in this interaction. You don't make any connection with the human being at all. And they, of course, because they're proud of their dog, and we like talking about our dog. We like that people like our dog, because that makes us feel like they like us a little bit more, even though they're not even giving two shits about looking at us in this exchange. And then you tell them the breed and the name, they spend some time and they rub the dog's belly in the back. Okay, have a good day. And you're back to your fucking latte. I want you to ask yourself, what does that say about just how we look at each other? In general, humans in general. And I know what a lot of people say. A lot of people say, well, that's because, dogs are loyal and dogs always love me and dogs. Y'all, some people shame their dogs, and that's bad news. But you know what most people don't do? Shame their dog. You know why? Because they're a fucking dog. Because you acknowledge that they don't know any better. You give them grace because you acknowledge that they are not as aware as you about certain things. They'll annoy you and they'll piss you off and you might yell at them, but I'm sorry, buddy. Oh gosh. You genuinely practice empathy, grace, kindness, patience, love with humility. You serve your dog. Daily, you feed them and bathe them and give them their shots and their medicine. But we do not, by and large, afford that same amount of love to human beings. Guys, it's a stark indicator, I find. All right, I'm getting a light. That's my time. To sum up, stop shaming everybody. We're all trying to do this. We genuinely are. Oh, sorry. One last thing. One last thing, and then I swear to God, I'm going to get off of here. If you're rioting, which I personally hope that you're not. I'm personally hoping, like I said, I will fight with you and I will burn down the whole system. But I don't think that burning down the actual places, the actual businesses of real human beings that are, by the way, also trying to help you fight, most of them, that's helping all of this. I'm not making a moral judgment on anyone. I'm not casting any shame on anybody. I think it is not in our collective best interest to be rioting and looting. Protest all day long. And I know that the cops are also complicit in fucking up some of those peaceful protests. So I'm not trying to take a side of the cops here, guys. This is not cop propaganda. I'm saying we are to be responsible with ourselves, our own bodies, and each other, and other people's bodies, and properties, and all of those things. And I think that's a more responsible way of moving forward. But let's still burn down. Let's go and riot and loot, figuratively, the broken system that is. Okay? Now, if you still feel like you need to go and riot and loot, I hope that you don't. But I'm just going to end with this last few parting words, okay? Okay? If you're not already aware, there are a lot of people who are not for the cause. If you're out protesting and then rioting and looting because you think that that is going to bring justice where justice needs to be served, and justice does need to be served for George Floyd, for Breonna Taylor, for Ahmaud, for many, many, many young black men, women, and anyone else who's been brutalized by police over these many years of police brutality. Absolutely, amen and hallelujah. That justice needs to be served. But if you're doing this thinking that's going to help, I think that you should at least acknowledge that there are other factions of people that are hoping that you go and do this to desecrate your name in the process. There are white supremacists that are hiding amongst the ranks of those who believe that they are rioting for justice. And those white supremacists are making it worse for you. And they're not going to get blamed at all. So I'm just suggesting that if you want to track down the white supremacists, stay inside after the protest. Let all those dipshits go and try to pretend to be you. And let the cops go arrest all of them. And they'll know. And we can start getting white supremacists off the street now. Because we should. That's definitely my time. The manager's going to kick me out. Guys, tip your waitresses. Try the veal. Sending you nothing but love and light. Always, 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 always. And that's it. Love you. All right. Talk to you soon.